Hi, thanks for tuning in here today. Today we're going to be doing a nice little fun painting. I hope you could follow along with me. Let me have them run the colors across the screen that you'll need to paint along with me. While doing that, let me tell you what I got done up here. I have my regular 16 by 20 inch canvas, pre-stretched, double primed, and I added a thin layer of the liquid white. Rather than that, it's slick, it's wet, and it's ready to go. Today we're going to be going back. I know the last couple of videos they were more advanced style, but today we're gonna go back to Bob Ross style. I think it'd be fun just switching back and forth between the two, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go into a little bit of alizarin crimson, and we're gonna get a touch of cadmium yellow, just a touch, just to sweeten that color. There we are. And we're gonna come up here and just, because I think pure alizarin crimson would be a bit too boring for me. So what the cadmium yellow does, it just makes it interesting for me. But if you guys just want pure crimson, or you can use bright red, whatever suits you guys. See, that's going more to the orangey side. Now I gotta tap in a little more red. Tap the paint, as much paint as you need. Remember, paint is to be used up, not to be stored. There. Just loading up and going at it little by little. Let's come up here and we'll add a little more color in the center. Shoot, we got random colors going on, but that's alright. That's what makes this painting have character. Shoot, if you want to, you can add in more color around here. Whatever makes you feel good. I'm gonna go into a little bit of titanium white. Just a little bit. And we're gonna go in the center. There. Just something subtle. It's there, but you wouldn't notice it really. Now, let's go ahead. Let's go into a little bit of phthalo blue. Phthalo blue is a nice, strong color, so you got to be careful how much you use and how much you put in your brush. Let's come up here and just have fun. Now, you want to leave like a little distance between the both colors, so then when blending, it's just smooth. So I didn't always do it, but now I try to tend to keep a little bit of space, just so when blending, makes everything much easier on me. Let's go ahead. Let me grab a natural 2-inch brush for blending. We'll come up here and we'll just do crisscross. There. You know what? We'll flip it around. There we go. Now I'm satisfied. Let's go ahead. Let's grab a little bit of phthalo blue. I almost forgot the color of that name. The name of the color. You can tell I'm not at my 100% today, but that won't stop us from making a nice little painting. Little lavender color here. We'll cut a roll and we'll grab titanium white with it. Okay. And we'll cut another roll and we'll add more titanium white. Okay. Now let's go ahead. Damn, um I don't have any flat brushes with me today. I used them up and forgot to clean them. Don't be like me, clean your brushes. And we're gonna go ahead. Let's just go into this nice blue with my 1 inch and just putting some color into there. It's like a blue lavender. And we'll just come up in here and you know what? Shoom. Just create something that looks appealing and interesting. There we are. Okay. Just load up your brush and maybe over here there's another little indication of a peak. And we'll just go back and forth until you're happy with it. That's the main goal. Well, we'll just tap a little bit of that color. There we are. Now, this would be in the distance, so really, I'm debating whether or not I should add any details. But for the sake of the painting and just gaining that experience, we'll go ahead and we'll do that. We'll add a little bit of details. So I'm gonna grab myself a fan brush, a little bit of brown, and with that blue color. Now we'll add a little more white to our brown, just a little bit. Don't want to overdo it, and we'll come up here and just add in a few little subtle indications. There. Just using the fan brush. I would use my flat brush, but again, not in working conditions right now. There we are. We're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of more brown and white, less blue. Just get a more colorful, little more vibrant. Just to see what we get. And a few little subtle indications. Luckily, it's not too strong, so it won't make it pop out too much. Because if it pops out too much, then we're in danger of making the painting look flat. And I don't want that. There we are. We'll go into some of that lavender color. And just go ahead and... That's too dark. Has to be lighter. There we are. Shoom. Just a few little things here and there. There we are. Okay. And with that, we can go ahead and we can grab our 1 inch that we use to block in color and just softly blend everything together. Okay. Now, let's go ahead. Let's have some fun with this painting today. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it seem like there's clouds covering it. So let's add some white to my number 6 fan brush. I just want it to seem like it's so far out and so tall that the clouds are hitting it. A little more liquid white, just to thin out that paint. Okay, let's come up here. Maybe. Shoot. Just using the corner of our fan brush. There. There we are. Load up my brush again. Maybe we'll have another cloud just live out here. Okay? And just kind of let the brush do your work. All you're doing is steering it. You're telling it where to go. You're the boss. You're the boss. You tell it where, but it'll do the work for you. And might as well just shoot a few little floating clouds, just something out there. No, just to tie everything together and just going back and forth just to blend it out. We'll come up here and ever so lightly lift up, and we'll do the same over here. Lift up and go across for both of them. Now, that one is starting to look transparent. I don't want that. I want it to look a bit more opaque, meaning little less see-through. So I'm gonna add a little more white on top. Hopefully that should do the trick because white is a very opaque color. There. There we are. Just something right there. Okay, that seems good enough to me. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna grab my lavender color, this pure lavender, and let's go ahead, let's cut a roll, and let's decide where our next mountain is gonna live. Maybe just right on over there. There, just this time I'm cutting it out with my palette knife. There. You know what? This is the big one. This is the mountain where you can get close to heaven, the paradise to heaven. There. You know what? Just shoom. There we are. You know what? We'll have another peak that comes up a little bit and it'll go down from there. Okay. We'll grab that same 1" we're using for blending. We'll just grab it and pull it. Shoom. There we are. The reason why we went darker on this mountain is to create that look of it being closer. There we are. There, just kind of getting the outside shape. That's the only thing that matters to me really when I'm painting these mountains. It's the outside shape to me that really truly matters. Okay, so what I can go ahead and do is, you know what? Right before I forget, we're gonna go into a little bit of phthalo blue. Let's add some water. Let's come up here and just there. There we are. A little bit of water. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let me clear up the paint from my palette just so we have more working space. We'll grab some of our brown. We'll add a little bit of black to it. And we'll have to add a little bit of white to line it up. Shoot. Let's come up here. I'm going to grab my fan brush, number 6. And I'm just wiggling the paint through the brush. Just get it nice and thoroughly. Let me move it up. And we're going to come up here and just decide. First, to me, it's the kind of like the outline, because the first one, it blends for me usually. But that's alright, because I don't like committing right away. If I don't like something, I'll blend it right in. So I like the shape of that, so we would leave it like that. And right here, and since this mountain is closer up, we want darker colors. We want colors that will give us more contrast, more rich tones, more. Over there it's just light colors that, oh yeah, I see it, but you know, it's not up close. Over here it's, whew. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of liquid white. Let me grab a little bit more. And we're gonna go ahead and go in with our second layer. Now, think about each move. Each move has to be calculated, really. This is where you start to commit yourself. You have to commit to the painting. There. And it doesn't have to be all like even, how should I say, even tone. Some could be patchy, some could be, and those little patches could look like little bumps and all that in your mountain. So it doesn't have to be all one smooth patch. You can make it all patchy like this and it'll look good. At least in my opinion, it looks nice. So the light would be coming from here, since I just realized, and I did it without thinking, but the light's hitting here and the light's hitting over here. If the light was coming from over here, then this side should have been highlighted. So I don't want to go back and fix things, so we'll say the light's coming from somewhere in the center. There. And we'll just few little boop boop boop. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna grab some brown, some black. I want more of a dark brown. We'll mix up some of that brown we're just using. We'll add a little bit of blue in there. Cut a roll. Now all I'm gonna do is just decide and block it in with my palette knife. There we are. Just blocking it in. I'm gonna smoothen it out with my fan brush. There we are. Just nice and gentle. So just little by little, build up that character in the mountain. You see? Now, you could leave it like that, but me personally, I don't like it. So I'm gonna smoothen it out. See, I think if you're doing brush strokes, keep it brush strokes. Don't be switching up. If you're gonna do palette knives, by all means, but I say keep all the patterns looking the same. You could do different ones, but in the same, let's say, same mountain or same tree, don't mix up the two. Or who knows, maybe some of you guys like that. I'm just not a big fan of that. I really don't like when some people do it like that, but it's their painting. There, just smooth it out. And what I'm gonna do is add a little more white to my brown, and we're gonna go back in and just wherever I think we have to fix that highlight edge. If you think and you feel like, oh yeah, mine looks fine, I don't have to change anything, by all means leave it how it is. But if you're like me, I always have to fix it up right after. And that's the good thing about art. You can always express yourself. Now, let's go ahead. We're gonna add a little bit of blue to this brown, and we're gonna grab a little bit of yellow. There, just on the fan brush. Shoot, a little bit of black just to kind of dull it a bit. And we're gonna come up here and just, you know what? Screw it. I'm the lazy kind. Well, we'd have somewhere around there. When I care, I'll actually do it the right way sometimes. There. Okay. What I'm gonna do is pull some of that color down, that green color. There we are. Lift some little tips up. Now, if it looks too spaced out, then I'll go back and I'll make it look better. But sometimes I try to go the cheaper route, the quicker route. I wouldn't recommend it for everyone because sometimes I'm just in the mood to say screw it, you know? And some people actually want to try and make good paintings, which I highly encourage, you know? You can make gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. I just sometimes I don't even understand myself. Okay. Let's go ahead. We'll add a little bit of black to that green color we had going on. A little bit more yellow. Just dark color. And we're gonna come up here and just basically block it in. There we are. Okay. Do that same thing for the other side. So somewhere like so. I like to scrub it in, but really doesn't really matter to me as long as you get the color on there. Now let's go into cadmium yellow, a little bit of that green color. You know what? Screw it. A little bit of phthalo blue just to make it nice and vibrant. We're gonna come up here and just do 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 do. There we are. Now I want to get the edges first and work my way out. I want it to, because if we're insinuating that the light's coming from here, it's not gonna be as bright over here as it is in the corners. Yes, there's still gonna be some light in there, but not gonna be as bright. There we are. Shoot, just enjoy it. Just enjoy this. This is the easiest thing you can do. There we are. And just this one get a bit more, I have a feel, up to a certain point, because then also these trees cover it. And just there we are. There. Okay. So what I want to do, you know what? We're gonna go a little bit of darker color. And we're just gonna lay it on here. Let's go with more darker since it's up close. Okay. Little highlights to that. There we are. Very, very simple. Now it'd be quicker with the 2-inch, but I just don't want to dirty it. I have multiple of those brushes yet. I don't like dirtying them because I'm a lazy painter. I don't like washing my brushes and return. Most of the time, there's always at least 3 or 4 brushes that didn't get washed and has dried up paint. There we are, just right here. So maybe get to like right there. Just think about like the angles, the way how it splits out. Where would most of the light hit? Where would you see less? So just tapping. There we are. And just let it fade out. There we are. Just like that. You could even call it a painting, but you know me, we just have to keep going. We can't stop at here. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let me grab a little bit of brown on my fan brush, and we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit black to it. And we're just gonna boop, and think about it as a little V on the top, and just create the little feet there. And we'll go into some somewhat distant colors. So just adding like blue, brown, seeing what I can get really. And I'm just gonna use my fan brush really just to staple on a few little base color on that, and we're gonna go into some cadmium yellow and just shoom. There we are. Doesn't have to be extremely detailed. This is still somewhat beginners now. A little bit of highlight, a little white into my light brown, and we'll come up here and shoop, shoop. There we are. We'll fix the little feet up here. And maybe one of the trees didn't get so lucky and grow up to look like that. Maybe one of the trees, we'll put it over here. Shoom. Just maybe either it got burned down or someone cut it down. Who knows? But that tree wasn't so lucky. There has to be a little sad part. A little bit of sad part right there. And a little bit of white. Here we are. There we are. Boom, 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 boom. And we're going to go into some dark. Just to kind of make it look closer. The closer it gets, the more highlights and shadows you would see. Let's go ahead. Let's add shadows to our greens. So over here we would see the shadows of the tree. And let's go ahead. Let's have, first we have to add a little bit of dirt. There. You could do this with a palette knife. I recently started liking doing this with fan brushes, flat brushes, sometimes even 1-inch. Sometimes. It just feels weird to me at times. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys and say I'm used to it. There. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's have fun. We have, I think we already went over time, but we have to add something in there just to lead the viewer's eye. So, you know me. Boop. And you know what? This time, I'm gonna fix this up first. This time we're gonna make the leaves go up. Usually I don't do this because when I was starting out, I didn't practice this much. So I haven't mastered this one. Like I've mastered the leaves facing down. Some people prefer this look. I always preferred the other one, so it's one for another, but it's alright. I could still do it. It's just I have to do it a little slower than what I think I can do. There we are. It's a lonely tree, but an animal would come by and visit it later in that day. Maybe a little fox would come, and we'll add a little highlight. We'll add a little liquid white, just a little bit. And just come up here. And final little touches. There we are for the tree. You can push some of the highlights to the other side. And we'll just staple on a few little itsy bits. And just like the other one, we'd kind of have a little shadow over here. Maybe a little more black, but not too much because also the lighting, the way it works. Well, that concludes today's painting. I really hope you enjoy it. Try this painting out. If you do, send me a photo. I would love to see what you create. I like to wish each and every one of you the best of luck, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, my friends. Goodbye.